But I guess you can see it that way. I guess we can
Yeah,
see it that
Brooklyn's
way.
own.
There you
New
go.
York, New York based.
And now you're now in Cali now, right? From what I've seen.
Yeah, I just moved. Like, I think this is like day maybe 46. It's
Okay.
all still so new. Um, yeah, I kind of just wanted to take a big chance and a big risk and bet on myself. So,
Mm.
Right? Oh, so taking big chances and big risks. Does that apply to relationships as well?
I think it applies to everything, right? So, like your living situation, the relationships, what that dynamic looks like. I mean, you're moving to a different side of the country, there's a different time zone, new people come into your life, old people leave, right? So, I think it affects like every aspect of your life.
Okay. I feel you. So,
I'm waiting. Go ahead.
oh no, we gonna get to the hard stuff. Don't
Uh,
worry, we gonna get to the hard stuff. We just warming up right now. But one thing I've gotten in the habit of asking people, especially now during this time, how is your mental health with all this? Given we're in the middle of a pandemic, there's so many other things going on, like with the protesting of police brutality and racial injustice and inequalities. How is your mental health during all of this?
Yeah, I would say my mental health is definitely not linear, right? Anyone that says their mental health is linear, it's a lie. Stop
Yep,
running. Like,
that's it.
we all don't have it together, and that's the beautiful
Mm-hmm.
thing. I go through like roller coasters, So I have days where I'm like, wow, everything's good. I love it, yada, yada. And then there are days where like, I miss home, or like, I miss this certain thing about New York City, or I feel like I'm not doing enough to combat social injustice. Like, how can I do more? And so, I think my mental health is always like more on the positive side, looking at the glass half full rather than half empty.
Mm-hmm.
But I think definitely now being in a pandemic by myself completely in a whole different state, it's tough. I mean, I recently started going to therapy again. I think
Okay.
seeing a therapist is so important, and you immediately say you have a therapist, people are like, oh, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you diagnosed with? And it's like, I just like talking to someone. I don't know. I want an unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
And so I really encourage everyone that's watching this, hearing this, if you are working a 9 to 5 in corporate America, follow up with HR, see if they're providing you any well being towards your mental health and how they can advocate for you. The company I work for has been able to provide me with like 8 free therapy sessions, and they do just so much for your well-being, and I think it's super important.
Mm-hmm.
EAP.
Right on.
You know, those things are highly, highly advantageous. It's specifically in communities of color. Uh, what do they say? They look down at therapy. It has a very negative stigma. You know, or pray away, look to God. And it's like, do you do the same thing when you break your arm? Do you be like, hey, I'm gonna just pray my broke arm away? No, you go to see, like you say, that unbiased opinion, that objectivity goes along with it.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because you mentioned your faith, and like at first I wanted a Christian-based therapist, right? When I was in high school, I didn't really put two and two together, right? It wasn't, I had to have one or the other. And the therapist I was paired with wasn't Christian, right? But just because the therapist or professional helping you within your mental health doesn't have the same like religious background backing as you do, doesn't mean that they can't support you in your faith, just as you would see fit. And so I definitely, it's so funny you say that, right? Because it's like, you got to be tough, but tough doesn't mean therapy. And it's like, what? Like, why doesn't it mean therapy? They both start with the letter T. Like, are you sure? Like.
Because I've always just been I've always had the mindset that self awareness is very important, and if you can put it in your mind that okay, yes, I might not be 100% right. I need to take the steps to try to better that, and that's the first step. A lot of people can't even get to that point, and that's where it starts. Because if you can't even admit that to yourself, then you will never be right. Because me and He-Man always say, you've never seen a drowning lifeguard save anybody. If you aren't right yourself, you can't, take care of anybody else around you. Because I know for me, that's one of my biggest, I like to, when it comes to family, people close to me, I try to always be there for them. But if I'm not right myself, then I'm not doing anybody any good. So you got to take care of your own
Right.
first.
And why do you think so many people are suffering in the pandemic now, right? Because they're forced to spend time with themselves. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
everybody's biggest fear. And it's like, how is that your biggest fear? Like, I'm sorry, you were born alone, you die alone, you spend most nights alone. Like, I know people that are in marriages and they feel like they're alone just because they're not connected to their partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think that's the biggest thing I've taken away from this, like spending time with myself, finding what I love in myself. I mean, if you ask a majority of people, what was the last thing that brought you happiness that wasn't materialistic or had to do with other people? People get stuck. They're like, damn, like, I don't really know, or they talk about an experience and it's like, no, like, what was the last thing you taught yourself? Or when was the last time you took yourself out on a date, And I think it's so, so important. So that's one of the great things I think I've gotten out of quarantine so far, time with myself and seeing a therapist. Yeah.
I know what you mean because I see it every day. Because I'm a licensed professional counseling intern. I'm going to be hopefully licensed soon.
Oh.
So I know
Do I get
exactly.
some free sessions? Like, is that what?
I got you. No doubt. Because I'm with you on that. My biggest thing is I look at positive psych. That is my theory. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is about your self-care. What does your self-care look like? And when students or clients come up to me, oh, I like spending time with my kids. No. I get it. But like I tell people all the time, your kids are like your broke best friends. What do you enjoy doing by yourself?
Yeah.
Yes. So you're absolutely right. You have to be able to look within yourself, be able to provide that happiness on your own if you want to be able to move forward.
Yeah, and that looks different for everyone, right? I mean, for me, it's like my little fruit and grooves, right? Like, I love eating fruit and I love dancing and playing music, but like, that's not to say that that's going to bring you happiness, And so, I mean, it's different every day. What brings me happiness one day sometimes doesn't bring me happiness the next, but it's all in motion. So.
Yep. Because it always gets me because there's so many people that if you ask them to make a list of all the people that they take care of, I always wonder how long is it going to take them to mention themselves because they never say themselves first. Me, I love me some me. I don't give a damn. I love me some me.
I'm in a whole relationship with myself.
I don't want to, especially in this pandemic. I've been buying all kind of shoes and stuff myself that's just sitting in my closet. But okay, he's going to shut up. Shut up, He-Man. Don't start. I know I got a problem.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let that be the reason.
That's self-love. You can't judge that. That's self-care.
It is. I mean, hey, I knock nobody's hustle. You're exactly right.
I know what you're thinking, though, bastard.
I just work here. That's it. Okay. I just work here. Right. That's above my pay grade.
Okay. So one thing I did want to pick your brain about is I did see the Ultimate Assist. So how is that going now? Obviously, I imagine it's not something happening right now because of this pandemic, but is this definitely something you want to continue doing in the future once things start to clear up and open up a little more?
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Not too many people know this yet, but we're going under a new branding, repositioning. There will be a new name, a new rollout as well. We kind of grew so fast, so soon, and so really kind of sticking to the main thing and keeping it the main thing, which is impacting lives and helping as many people we can through sport and beyond sport. And so there will be a new rebranding coming out, but I would say we still had a chance to keep in touch with our clientele. I mean, the relationships that have been built through the Ultimate Assist are everlasting. So you come to an open run, you're provided with a job opportunity. You have that job opportunity, you wind up getting a modeling gig. I mean, there's so many success stories from just playing basketball, bringing good energy and meeting others, that this is definitely something I'm going to be doing for years to come. And really excited to do so. I mean, I get a high off of helping others. Like, I get a high off of seeing people succeed. And I think that's just because of the way I was raised. So it has taken a little alteration in regards to the pandemic right now, as most physical sports have, but just keeping in mind our clientele and their safety, we haven't been doing too much.
That's savvy. Yeah, most definitely. I'm definitely interested in seeing where it goes from here. I know. Yeah. And I want to catch one of these open runs too. So I gotta get myself back in shape first though.
Yeah. So that's what everyone says about these open runs. They're like, oh, I see you hosting these open runs, like, but I got to get ready first. And I'm like, see, like, if you were to go to a happy hour, you wouldn't say, I got to get ready for the happy hour and start pre-gaming, right? You would just show up. Like, why is
No
it this
comment.
I
thing?
see you. I see your
Oh,
wheel spinning.
No,
I see your
you're
wheel
different.
spinning.
But anyway, yeah, as he sips. No, I'm just, but yeah, people are always like, I need to get in shape. I need to prepare. And I'm like, no, like, you need to come as you are. Like, that's the only prerequisite I have. It's not, you had to play in college. You had to be a part of an adult league. I need like 10 boards, 10 assists. Like, it's none of that. It's just come as you are, come with good intention, good vibes only. And that's it, you know. But we were supposed to make a stop in Texas, actually. Texas was our April outing. We were going to do Houston and where else were we going? Oh, Dallas and Houston. So,
I could do
yeah,
Dallas. Ooh, I
bit
hate
postponed,
Houston.
but
But yeah, no. When I say get in shape, it's more so just because this pandemic has brought out the worst in me. I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten extremely lazy, and I have recently started back working out. I just need to, you know, they talk about that freshman 15. I'm sure I put on the COVID-19. Like it's been pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I definitely wanna hit one of those when it does get back going and y'all come to Texas. I definitely wanna hit one.
yeah, I definitely got you.
Appreciate that. So then shifting gears to another topic, something very controversial at times. He-Man, shut up. Shut up.
I feel like I'm getting
how
in
you
a ring.
think. OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It comes with see hype. Because it comes with such a negative connotation when OnlyFans is brought up, because you do got, you know, I'm never knocking anybody's hustle, especially during this pandemic. Me and He-Man, we've been blessed to still be working during this time, so that's one of the good things. I'm never gonna knock anybody for, you know, what they
Absolutely.
do, if they, you know, whatever they got to do to make a living. But it does come with that negative connotation whenever it's brought up, because you do have the women that are basically busting it wide open. You know,
Yeah.
leaving nothing to the imagination on OnlyFans. And since men are mutts, there's always going to be a market for that. So, I mean, yeah, but I have seen yours, and it's the exact opposite.
Thank you.
Yep, there you go.
Can we get a few claps? No,
Oh yeah,
no
I got
claps
you.
there?
He got you.
I got you. Let me turn. Hold on. Let me turn it back up here. Where is that? There we go. Let me hit that again. There we go. Yes, a few claps. There we go. Yeah, I got you. So, tell us all a little bit about your OnlyFans, and, you know, kind of some of the things you promote on there, and what you got going
Yeah.
on.
Well, I mean, you said it, right? Sex sells. Sex sells on any single platform, in person,
Men are mutts.
offline, you name it. Like, it sells, right? I mean, literature too, like 50 Shades of Grey, movies. I mean, you name it, everyone has their fix, right? But the real question is, let's dive into the name, right? OnlyFans.
Yep.
When it first started, it was for creators to sell and purchase premium content, right? Because unfortunately,
last
you
long.
don't have that blue check. Yeah, you don't have that blue check. You don't have 10,000 followers. Like, brands aren't necessarily paying you to make posts, be creative, do your own thing, right? So, of course, like anything, right, comes the nudity, comes the, well, there's a protection wall, and so we can do this and that. And so, yeah, I mean, Instagram models and strippers and you name it, they use the platform for what they know how to do best, or how they make their money, you know. Again, not knocking anyone's hustle. I'm still blessed to have my 9 to 5 and my side gigs here and there. But I've just been really inspired to kind of change the narrative. And I think that goes back to like me taking a chance, me just being myself and showing my authenticity. So the same things that I would post on Instagram are the same things you're going to see on OnlyFans. If you aren't going to see it at a pool or a beach, you won't see it on OnlyFans. Like, there is no nudity on my page. But why do people come to my page? Because they want to have that intimate connection with me, right? Like, I love seeing her dance and smile. I love asking her questions. Like, she only has a certain amount of followers here, so I'll get her attention here. I mean, I'm on multiple platforms, and that doesn't mean that multiple people won't follow me on all platforms. Like, energy is contagious, and so it's about the way you make a person feel. So no, I don't feel compelled to show all parts of my body to make someone feel good. That's not what I need to do, you know. My energy speaks for itself. And so, right now, this is my first month with an OnlyFans, and to be honest, I've made like close to $1,000. Again, no nudity. Like, I mean, I'm in yoga pants. I'm in the like my pajamas. Like, I mean, I don't really know. I guess it's like the imagination of things, maybe, or like how attractive someone is to you, or like I said, like they just want to see your energy. And I'm getting questions about my move. I'm getting questions about what I do, getting questions about how I can help others build their brand. So I will be hosting a workshop on OnlyFans in October, because males can monetize on OnlyFans too. You guys can theoretically move this whole podcast only to OnlyFans and have a new segmentation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so just really trying to break the stigma and the narrative. I mean, Snapchat had the same stigma, right? Snapchat came out, it was like only for nudes, like send me your snap. And now it's like, no, people post every second of their day on Snapchat. So it's like this wave's going to come, and it's coming slowly but surely. There are 200,000 new subscribers every single day.
Wow.
200,000 subscribers. And you can make your OnlyFans account free as well. So, I mean, I'm testing out the platform. I'm going through the motions. But yeah, no nudity, good vibes only. And I'm just trying to teach you what I've learned myself, or what I've been taught from others. So that's my OnlyFans spiel for now.
I feel you. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of what you got going now. Shut up.
And you know what's crazy? Like, there's actually media companies that I'm actually going to be featured in a commercial that's coming out talking about how I have a corporate job and I have an OnlyFans. Like, so people are loving this because you know why? It's so controversial.
Yeah.
Controversial. I can't. Controversial.
You got it.
There we go. But yeah, I mean, it's like, why does everyone tune into the Kardashians every single week, right? Because you know there's going to be some scandals. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's it though. You hear their name, you know what it is. Same thing, OnlyFans. You hear the name, you know what it is. But you know what it is for your definition. And so just trying to keep the same motion on all platforms and spread positive vibes.
There ain't a Tylenol big enough in the world for me to watch the Kardashians. There's not.
No.
I can't keep up with all that.
Hell no. So where do you find the energy? Where do you find the energy to, like you say, work your 9 to 5, do your OnlyFans, your other outside things that you got going on?
Engagements, entanglements?
Yes.
No, I'm joking.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yeah, we getting closer.
Yes, we are.
To the good stuff.
Where do you find the energy for all of these things? Entanglements, if so. Or for somebody, I know. But would you be able to find time for someone if they were serious about wanting to try and get to know you on a serious basis, considering how you got your hands in so many things?
Oh, okay. So the question is, do I have time for someone? I definitely do. I mean, have you guys taken the finding out what your love language is? No? Yes. Have you taken that test? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. So my love language are quality time, gifts, and words of affirmation. And,
I knew gifts was going to be one. I don't know if I trust a lady that ain't got gifts like in her top 3.
It's not gifts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you ready? No. Yeah. It's not gifts as in like I don't have anything designer. Like, I'll be real frank with you. It's not that I can't afford it. It's the fact that I don't see value in that. Like, you buying me something designer is you basically giving me my rent or something of that nature, like some kind of form of bill, and something for me to show off to others. Like, I just don't want that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I have the fear of gods. I have the electric shoes that but those are all from doing work with certain brands, things of that nature. And so that's not my thing. But so when I say gifts, I mean gifts of value. So for example, someone just knew I wanted to start surfing, and they got me a package of surfing lessons. And I'm like, wow, you remembered my interest. That was thoughtful, considerate. I appreciate that. But do I have time for someone? Absolutely. I think we all make time for what we want to make time for. You know,
say that again
I
for
saw
the
a
people
LinkedIn
in the back.
post. Huh?
Say that again for the people in the back. There you go.
You know what time it is, daytime. Mm-hmm. No, I'm joking. But yeah, we all make time for what we want to make time for. And I'm just really big on time management. So I plan out every second of every day. I used to plan out how long my showers would be. I was crazy on time management.
Oh,
and
snap.
I'm getting better. my therapist tells me you can't live your life like a task list, and so I'm working on it. But yeah, I have time. I've been dating casually. It's new. I don't know. Go ahead.
So many questions.
Oh,
So
so do
how has
I.
that
So do
been?
I.
How has that been going from the East Coast to the West Coast, dating wise? Have you dated someone on the West Coast? Do you see any difference?
Oh, because
Lifestyles?
before you answer that, I just have a small point. I do have a friend that lives in LA, and she says the dudes in LA are a real problem. So I'm wondering, do you
Problem
have?
how? Or I guess I'll say my piece and then you can tell me
Okay,
how
yeah,
that
go
compares.
ahead.
So my friend and I are actually coming out with a pilot talking about all the differences from East Coast to West Coast, because
Okay.
if I say like New York and LA, you're automatically going, oh, LA's weather, New York's energy. You know, you have your definition as to what coast is known for what. However, living here, it's a completely different story. In regards to dating, have I gone on dates? Yes, it's during a pandemic, so it's a bit different. It's like socially distant dates, I guess. But I've gone on dates, and I would say for the most part, no offense to LA guys, but it's just like a calmer energy. Like New York people, like I'll give you an example. When you move here to Los Angeles, you're called a transplant. So like you're not
Okay.
from LA, you're a transplant, right? In New York, do they have names for people that just moved to New York? No, because they don't care. Like the pride is too strong. You're a New Yorker or you don't matter. Like you don't get a name, you know? So I just think the energy here is like, I don't know, like it's just very relaxed and like I don't know, like people in New York are known to curve people, ghost people. Not saying that's the right thing because it's absolutely not. But the energy is like fierce in New York. Like if you're gonna date someone, they're gonna date you, and if they don't want you dating anyone, they're gonna make it known they don't want you dating anyone. You know, so
Yes. Yes.
um,
So have you ghosted anybody before?
no,
No,
I keep no. I'm communication to me is so important, and I think that's just because like being honest, I come from a single family household, and my mom told me everything when I was little. Like she was completely honest about bills, about education, about like separation from my father and her, and so I'm known to speak about what's on top of my mind. And like, what's more respectable than that, right? A lot of people, don't get me wrong, can't handle the truth, don't want to hear the truth, rather be lied to or ghosted. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Hey, I'm not feeling this. Or, I mean, the most common thing that happens is like, hey, I can't put my attention towards this. Like, my goals and drive towards my work ethic right now is way too important to really dive in and absorb the energy of someone else that's not at that same level or drive. So,
When is the last time you had a terrorist?
terrorist? What's a terrorist?
Me and he man, we have a word for them. We call them Tinder dicks. That sucker for love, that or
bugaboo.
that person that you had to break up with, that you were never even actually with.
Yeah, you're not with him, but he's with you. As in, you're like, hey, we're cool, yeah, but there's nothing going on.
So
But
that
it's,
happens all the time for me though. Like, see, that's different. Well, like, I don't know what you guys like, not in like the physical sense, because
Yeah.
like I don't like I'm very like my faith comes first and all of that. So like that's a whole other conversation. But in regards to like a bugaboo and stuff, I mean, I am a guy's guy. Like I'm a tomboy. Like I mean, I'm in my D Wade shirt right now, basketball shorts. Like I treat everyone the same, like regardless of gender. And like my personality is so bubbly, so joking, this and that. That people think I'm automatically flirting with them. And it's like, no, I'm just giving you a hard time because I give people a hard time
Yep.
sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, I've had those conversations in LA already, if
Mm-hmm.
that's what you want to know. I'm
That's
just
what I
like,
was. That's what I was wondering because
I thought this was a hangout. There's a Drake
no,
lyric.
no,
There's a
these
Drake lyric that I love to use, and he goes, "She's complaining that I'm late. I didn't know it was a date." 9 times out of 10, I'm using that line. Like, what? I didn't know it's a date. I thought it was just hanging out. Like,
yeah, because these new dudes, it doesn't take much nowadays for these new cats. Now I consider myself, I have an old soul. I'm 30 years old, but but I have an extremely old soul because I'm 30 going on 50 right now. So me and He-Man, we're kind of on that same wavelength where we think a little bit differently than some of these new cats. And I never. What you sipping on?
This is a sparkling seltzer. Sorry, I'm not interesting. Okay. I guess. Sorry.
Here you go.
Okay.
Here
No worries.
Next time, I'll come back with some drinks.
What is your drink of choice, whenever you do partake?
Yeah, I mean, I like all drinks. So in regards to wine, I'm a really big fan of white wine, so Riesling. Okay. It's like a sweet dessert wine. In regards to liquor, I love dark. I love a Henny or a Jack Daniel's honey. Jameson, I'll do whatever. And then in regards to white, I mean, I'm not a big tequila person. I do like flavored vodkas, Ciroc. I guess it depends on like, this sounds crazy, but I think it depends on like what state you're in or like what the vibe is, you know, like summertime, I'm probably going for like a sangria or a nice like Ciroc with like some peach fruit fuzz, you know, so I think it all depends, but yeah.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 24. I'm an old soul.
Oh, you're still a baby.
So,
you still got Similac on your breath.
Just was allowed to drink like 2 days ago, you know.
That's what's. Damn, I feel old as fuck. All right.
But to all fairness, I was raised by my brother and my cousin who are like 10 and 11 years older than me. So it was like you grew up fast, and you know, like, yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Oh man, I am going to my notes here. Okay. Hell, what you got here, man? You
go for it.
Right now.
I'm gonna come back to it.
All right. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was pitching our theory to her about men pick but women choose in regards to relationships. When I say men pick, women choose, what do you take that as I mean?
I think it means like men are more to. You said men pick, women choose. Mm-hmm. So women have several options, right? Because you're choosing, you're selecting. But when men pick, it's like that one. So like it's a very like specified, you know, and women, I guess it's like a more indecisive approach maybe, like I'm going to choose this for today, you know. So like I would think of it more as like women deciding something on the menu, whereas men go to like a car dealership and it's like I picked that. It's actually a really good analogy. That was good. That was.
Yeah, she bodied that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, thank you.
But the only thing I get with us
next question.
But see, that's the thing though. When we pick, like you say, we pick a car, but sometimes that some bitch don't crank up, which means we could pick a woman, but she may not pick us back. So that happens. So when you guys be like, you know, I pick him. Because the thing I always like to say is that if a man goes into a room with 10 women and he is like, you know what, I want to find me a girl tonight, let's hook up, let's chat, let's talk. Probably out of those 10, I'll say 4, maybe down, 3, maybe more, a little bit. But it ain't going.
Real different. I just can't. Like, I don't know. Like, some people do this. Like, let's talk about this. Some people do this. Like, polygamy is a thing. Like,
no, it is. But what I'm saying is that if I was going in a room, granted, I'm in a relationship, so say for instance.
Way to put that out there. There you go. Good.
Yes, I have to represent. I'm not going to get my.
There you go. I'm not trying to get cut. Don't get cut. This was my topic. I brought it up. So Angel Face don't cut you.
Yes. I'm always upfront about where I stand. So, say for instance, I go into a room and with 10 women, I'm like, hey, I want to meet with a young lady, or I want to get to know her, so on and so forth. Maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe interested, or lower. But if a girl goes into a room, she could have a peg leg with a hook arm.
Don't look like that.
She could
It's
be
true.
missing. She could have a missing eyeball. Half her head could be shaved and the other in dreadlocks. And guess what? She like, I'm looking for a dude tonight. At least 8 gonna be like, I can see her with having a real leg. I can see her having a whole arm. I give her a shot. I get at least
you
8.
say that. I think it's like a stigma. I don't know. Like I think like men always think like women like, oh, you have like I get that all the time. Like you have options, or like especially for me being in the sports world, like I've had men break up with me because they just can't handle like I guess, how do I say this? They can't handle the arenas that I'm within, I suppose. Like it comes down to it. I was working at Madison Square Garden. 20,000 people come to my job and see me on that Jumbotron before I see them. So of course I'm going to get those messages. Oh my God, I'm at the game. Or I just saw you on this ESPN, da, da, da. Like, and so it takes a lot of confidence for a man to be like, no, like that's my girl. She wouldn't do anything. You know, I understand people see her, but she doesn't necessarily see them or give them attention. And so, but I do definitely hear your point. Whereas like women tend to, I guess, have more options sometimes, but so do guys. Like it works both ways, you know, it does. And you know, it does. There are,
No.
But a big part of
both ways.
it, a big part of it comes from men generally are the pursuers in a relationship. Like how often have you pursued a guy? Seriously.
Oh, I say what I want. Like I'll tell someone like, oh, I find you attractive, yada yada yada. Like people miss out on so many opportunities. I'm so serious.
No,
People
I get
miss out
that.
on so
I get
many
that. I'm talking about
opportunities.
actually pursuing a guy. I think he's cute. I like him.
Like
I want to
getting-
get to
yeah.
know him.
I
How
would
often
say
have you done that?
maybe, I've done it maybe 3 times in my life.
Oh yeah, you're still a baby, so that's a pretty high.
I don't.
number.
Yeah, I don't. Come on.
So what, was that different for you? Was that like when you saw someone that you enjoyed, that you liked, and you was like, you know what, I'm gonna let that be known. How did that make you feel, knowing that you were the one that put that out there forward?
Because a lot of women will
Yeah.
not do that, even if they
Well, it's the
feel
same thing.
strongly, they won't do it.
Yeah, it's the same thing also in going to a bar. Like, I'd be damned. I don't wait for any man to buy me a drink. Like, what do I look like? Like, I'm my own woman. I pay my own bills. Like, and I hate when women do that. Like, I have girlfriends that'll go to a bar. No, I'm going to wait till someone buys me a drink. Like, I will buy you that drink. Like, your mom told you to marry a rich man. You be that rich man. Like, it doesn't work for me, you know?
Yeah, she body
But,
this.
No, I'm serious. This is just, and it's the real. Like, and when I talk to guys, when I date guys, I tell them, like, I want you to feel as approached and, like, loved and sought after as I would want to, you know? Like, why does it have to be that the male's the one chasing the female? Like, I think the male deserves that same attention, you know? Like, same way I would want the male to cook dinner for me, I would want to cook dinner for him. Like, and so I do believe in gender roles, right? Like, in regards to, like, pulling out a chair, opening the car door, things like that. But I also believe that there's a fine split where you both can act in the same demeanor, you know?
You just can't wait to have your little boo. Y'all sitting in there cutting y'all fruit together, grooving. You just can't wait for that cake. I see. Nothing wrong with it.
But that is on point, because that's what a relationship is about, right? To being able to enjoy, to take someone else in, to be able to spend those moments with that person and enjoy every minute of it. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
If you're listening to this, stop going into relationships being selfish. Like, imagine you go into a relationship being selfless and you just want it. Like, for me, having conversations, even having this talk today, like, I hope that the two of you, like, absorb some of my energy and feel better and feel, like, lighter after this conversation than you did before. And, like, that's how I think people should go into relationships. Like, leave that person better, regardless. Like, such and such cheat on such and such. I get it. It was a mistake. We're going to split ways, but I made you better in the process, you know? Like, people are so easy to point instead of point within. And so I'm all about the, oh, that was me. Like, in basketball, my bad, coach. That was my bad. I got you next play.
Yo, she is really bodying this. We need to get her in the group on Facebook to talk to some of them heathens in that group.
Oh, dear God, because Lord knows there's plenty of them.
Add me. I'm ready.
We got you, yeah, because that's how pretty much how this whole podcast started. Was He-Man started a Facebook group, Battle of the Sexes, Life and Relationships, and this podcast kind of started from that. But there's a lot of heathen women in this group that that it's always the man's fault. Men ain't shit. Him. There's never any of this. Yeah, we gotta. You need to come talk to some of these heathens.
And I mean, it's hard, to each its own. Like, I'm not gonna say like my way is the right way. Like, I don't know people's upbringing. You know, my parents were divorced before I could even like remember or have a thought about it. You know, and my mom, of course, like she kept it real, told me what my father did and didn't do, but it was never like hate that man. Like, I'm talking about parentship that like my father didn't pay child support. My father wasn't in the picture, but my mother was never like hate that man. And I know it takes a strong woman to raise a child by herself, and an even stronger woman to remind that child that she raised that, hey, as much as you're a part of me, you're a part of that person that helped me make you, you know? So I think it's about the household and what those conversations look like, honestly.
Yeah, because I don't believe any woman has ever had the thought that, yes, I want to be a single mother. It's always, you know, it's what kind of happens, and it's how you roll with it that defines you. And I don't think enough women get enough credit for, you know, some of the, you know, all of the hardships and sacrifices of being a single parent in those
Absolutely
situations.
Not. You guys are gonna make me cry. I love my mom so much, and like she'd always tell me, like, you can have multiple fathers, right? Anyone can marry a woman, remarry a woman, multiple fathers. You have one mother. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a stepmother, whatever. You have one person that gave birth to you. Like, regardless of what anyone says, you have one person that gave birth to you. And I'm always like, damn. And my mom played the mom and father. Like, you know, there was never father-daughter dances. My mom was right there on the dance floor, like, you can't tell me anything. Like, this is my daughter. And it takes a strong woman, man. It really, really does.
So what was it like bringing a man home to your mom? Have you brought some home to mom?
Yeah, well, okay, so my household my mom's a lover, right? So like in regards to holidays, my brother and his friends, like somebody gets kicked out of the house, boom, they're coming to my house. Like someone out on the street doesn't have a place to stay, come to my house. Mind you, I didn't grow up in a house. I grew up in an apartment. Like it was 2-bedroom, you know, like 1 bedroom at times, like grew up middle class, like keeping it very frank. And so I've definitely brought men back home. My longest relationship was about 3 years, and he had a really close bond with my mom. And honestly, I guess my mom's just an older version of me. And so the guys that I would date would be like, I love your mom, like texting her this and that. And like, my mom is so hip. Like she used to dance battle and everything. And so, yeah, I mean, she trending on TikTok, like her TikTok, my TikTok with my mom has more likes than any of my TikToks. Like she's just killing the game.
Oh my god, I hate TikTok so much.
Yeah, and she just keeps it real. Like, so I mean, I've never had a really dull moment with bringing someone home. I mean, I think it's always rough. Like, you can love the person your daughter's dating, but the moment your daughter's hurt or upset, you want to kill that person, or you're just like, what the heck? And so, yeah, I mean, haven't had any like crazy situations. I haven't had that many like real relationships either. So maybe that was it. I don't know.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah, I think there's 3 different types of love. Are you ready for this? You ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
So yeah, I think there's 3 different types of love. I think there's your first love, right? The, oh my God, I'm gonna marry you. Gonna have a family with you, whatever the case may be. Then I think there's the second love that teaches you about yourself. Like, oh, like, okay, I went through my first heartbreak. I understand this and that. And then there's a third love that comes out of left field. You're in Hawaii and you met someone and now you guys are moving back to the States together, whatever the case may be, but something that you really didn't expect. And I think those cycles continue to repeat themselves throughout life. So I've gone through my phase of my 3 loves. I think I continuously go through those phases. And I think your love changes depending on the love you give yourself. So the same love I gave myself when I was younger is completely different. It's not the same, right? So I think the love that I look for and search for is different and not the same now too. So
what love are you on now?
I think I'm back on that third love, that kind of love that comes out of left field. And I think it's because mostly I'm not searching for it. I'm kind of just going with the flow. My goal, honestly, in life, one of my goals is to be like water, to adapt. So
Okay,
you
Bruce
put
Lee.
water.
Go ahead
I'm
then.
not fucking with you.
No, but like you put water on the stove, it's gonna boil. You put water in the freezer, it's gonna turn to ice. You leave water out, it's room temperature. Like water always adapts. You're never gonna put water in the freezer and be like, why isn't it frozen? You know, I mean, if you leave it in for maybe 5 seconds, but like, so I just literally want to be able to continue to adapt. And I mean, my love continues to adapt. You know, as I grow, I expect more of myself, which in return means I expect more of those that I keep around me. So,
No, I totally respect that because that's kind of what happened to me. Like I say, when I met my baby girl, it was totally out of left field. Was not expecting it. Was not looking for it. None of that. And then it happened, and
Because
literally,
we was living
one of
our
the best things
best
that
life in Austin that weekend.
What?
Lord have mercy.
Ooh-wee.
I don't even remember
Straight
half that
Thundercats,
weekend.
wilding the fuck out.
Ooh.
That is what happened, and then it just hit, and you get absolutely no complaints from me at all. So I can totally feel you on that. I totally understand that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I think my next one would end up being the third one because I was in my second one, my second love a few years ago. That one was rough.
Yeah. Because, like, what's realer than a love that teaches you about yourself? It's like, damn, like, I didn't know this about me, or I didn't know that this is what I look for. And, like, so, yeah, that one's always going to be real tough.
Yeah.
So for you, what makes a happy relationship? What does mean not happy, but a healthy relationship?
Balance on everything. Communication, attention, time, effort. Like, it's a seesaw. It's not a tug of war. Like, I'm not out here trying to beat you or outcompete you. It's not a race. Like, it's a seesaw. Like, when you're up, I want to be up, or when you're down, like, I want us to balance each other out, you know? And so, yeah, I would say balance.
Are you going to turn the game off when your man trying to decompress and just get an hour to play the game? Are you just going to turn the game off?
I'm going to have multiple rooms, so...
She paused.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it depends what kind of mood I'm in and who's playing, you know? Like, if I had a rough day too, I understand. Like, I'm tired, you're tired, whatever. But I mean, like, I think it's also with balance, it's like in regards to balance of passions, you know? Like, if I'm passionate about something, I hope you have a similar passion and or can indulge in my passion with me. And I, in return, will respect the needs that you have and make sure I balance those out too, you know?
What about your deal breakers? What is something? Let's start first. I'm gonna be specific. What are your? Let's start with your physical deal breakers.
It's
what
gonna
are
be so many.
Where you are just like,
it's going to be so many guys that's taking notes on this episode.
This is shallow.
No, it's not. This is honesty. Look, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can miss me with that whole, I don't care what he look like as long as he love me. No, it has to be something to where it catches your eye.
Man's got a point. Man has got a point. Because if a man come up and one of his legs is 4 or 5 inches shorter than the other leg, you're not talking to that man.
If he come to you with
the legs, why?
Okay, maybe your arm. If he come to you with a small arm, like the dude on Scary Movie,
I got a good one.
And he's stirring your mashed potatoes.
I got a good one. Ooh, I got a good one. How tall are you?
Tall enough. No, I'm joking. I'm 5'8".
5'8".
Okay, go ahead. If he's the same height as me.
Nah, I'm talking about if he like 5'4". You talking to him?
Yeah, probably not. I just like, I don't know, like, I feel so bad. My girlfriend was talking to someone and she found out he was like 5'5" or 5'6", and she's like, you know, like when we cuddle, like I want to be spooned. I don't want to feel like there's a backpack on my back. I said, what?
Oh,
I can't.
I was dying.
I can't.
I was like,
that is cold.
Oh,
that is.
That's funny. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
I've never heard that. She said like a backpack. Right. Oh my God, that's funny.
The wittiness in my girlfriend group is top notch. But I mean, yeah, I would say deal breakers, something that I'm dealing with right now that I can't stand, wife beaters. Like, a wife beater is not supposed to be worn outside. I don't care what you say. No. Don't do it. I know you got it from Hanes. I know it came in a pack of 6 or 4. But don't wear those out. Please.
So if you meet a man, that has everything that you want and look for in a man, but he wears wife beaters outside, you done with him?
I'm gonna be like pros and cons. Pro, we get you a new shirt and this can work. Con, you keep the wife beater on and I'm head out. Like,
yo. He ain't beat nobody, he ain't robbed nobody, he ain't shot nobody. He's a good Samaritan. It's hot. Lexington, it is hot.
But there are tank tops. We do know this, right? Like the thicker, like actual material. There's tank tops. Not like why wear a wife beater out? Like, I really can't stand it. I'm sorry. You know your mom's not letting you wear a wife beater outside. You know that. You know it. So if you think you can wear a wife beater outside when knowing damn well your mom wouldn't let you out the house like that, why? Because you live by yourself now? Come on. Have some respect. Respectfully,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I could open up 2 boxes of cereal at once as opposed to just one, just like when I was a kid. It is okay to wear a white beater. It's hot. The ozone layer is melting glaciers.
That man go outside. He cutting the grass. He got a wife beater on. You got a problem with that?
Get a tank top.
See, he can't even go cut the grass in a wife beater.
You know what that equivalent's like? You know, I guess you guys don't know, but like there are these tank tops for women that are like spaghetti strap kind of, and like they have a bra built in, and like it's a really flimsy, like like when you start, like, I don't know, when you're in the preteens, early teens, like that's what you wear. It's like called a cami, I think. So like, why? You're not gonna see a 30-year-old woman in a cami. Like, you're probably not. Like, so why wear a tank top? Like, I don't think you understand how mad that gets me. No, seriously, that.
Oh my God, I've heard
that.
I've heard everything. I've never heard that before. I've heard about everything
pants,
you can
the
think
sagging of the pants. What are we doing? Why?
She's like, nope, not doing it.
Oh my goodness, I've heard about everything you can imagine. I've never heard that before.
Because you know why? Your presentation of like how you step outside of the house is a reflection of like how you want to be treated, kind of. You know, like, you know how they say look good, when you feel good, you look good, whatever. Like, it's a ripple effect, right? I'm reading the compound effect right now, and it talks about how one thing carries on to the other. It's the same, like, come dressed how you want to be approached. Like, how am I supposed to approach a man in a tank top? Please tell me. I mean, in a wife beater. Please tell me. What's that dialogue like? Like, what? I don't know. I really don't know.
Hey, you feel like hooping? Hey, you just get off of work? Hey, you know.
You are not hooping in a tank top. I mean, in a wife beater. You are not.
Damn, I'm guilty of that too.
You might as well not wear a shirt, honestly.
I'm guilty of that.
Please. I know you have shirts in your closet to wear. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Really got me upset. Honestly, I was having fun, guys, and then we started talking about this wife beater nonsense.
Well, see, that's the thing. That was the purpose of this show. We told you we was gonna get you in a hot seat, right?
Yeah, but this shouldn't even be a thing. Like, wife beaters should just be eliminated. Like,
look, if anything, we help guys understand what frustrates you. So now they can't approach you with a wife beater on.
You better have every dude throw all his wife beaters out now.
Please, good, please. Like, I will gladly buy you a pack of shirts before you wear a wife beater.
Oh, that's funny.
And somebody's gonna see this that has been in my presence that has worn a wife beater, and yes, I am talking to you. Like, stop wearing them. Like, don't do it.
OMG, yo.
I have
OMG.
no regrets. Zero regrets.
Well, like P-Mac said, though, what happened if he's a great guy?
I've met great guys in wife beaters, and we've had this discussion. This is not a shirt. This is not a shirt. Pretty sure when you were wearing these were an undershirt. So let's keep them under the shirt still. Like, that's where they belong.
Okay, so wife beaters is a deal breaker. Height, sagging, height. That's three at least. Can you think of any other ones?
Yeah,
those
easy.
Are the
lack of motivation. Like if you're not motivated, like you woke up today and somebody didn't. Like it's as easy as that. Like there are people begging for their lives in hospitals right now. There are people on their last breath. Like you need to have some fire and fuel in you. Like I need my energy matched, not absorbed. Like it needs to be matched.
That makes sense. They have to be on the same wavelength as you, have goals, be able to pursue them, so on and so forth.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to this because I think I've gauged you pretty well. But if he makes less than you,
I hate that this is a topic, honestly, because it fluctuates so much. Mm. So like he may make less than me, but let's say this pandemic hits and now I don't have a job. So am I going to be like, oh, he still makes less than me? No, he's probably providing for the household. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, like how soon do you get comfortable enough to tell your spouse how much you make? You know, there are some people in relationships that don't have shared bank accounts, or like marriages that don't have shared bank accounts. There are people in relationships that won't get married due to tax purposes. Like there's a whole slew of options there. And so in regards to making less than me, I mean, I don't think I can judge someone on the dollar amount that they make, honestly. Like, yeah, I'm going to want more for you, as you should want more for yourself. But, I mean, what's a few $1,000s here and there? And I think that's because I'm so set on, like, I know I'm going to be successful regardless, and I'm not depending on a man's finances. So that's, like, a whole other thing. But I do see how some people, they think it's a deal breaker, and to each its own.
Yeah. Because I've seen plenty of cases of it where, it's like what you said about the whole lack of motivation thing, but it's a guy that he's pursuing something that he loves doing, but he just doesn't make as much as she does. She just say, forget you. You're not on my level financially. Forget that. Like, I've never understood that, to be honest. I can see if it was a dude that, I just work at McDonald's, I'm living in my mama's house, I don't care. I can see if it's that scenario. But a guy that's actually pursuing something, doing something that he loves, maybe it's not in that same financial bracket as what she is doing, but it's something he loves. He's not like he's comfortable. He's not like in financial restraints or anything like that. He's able to live his life to how much he makes, and he's fine with that. But I've seen women that he doesn't make what I make, so forget that.
Yeah, but look how many like success stories there are, right? Where like the woman's taking the financial burden. Like I think Miguel, right? He always praises his wife, like, oh, like she supported me when nobody wanted this and that. And then look at the return. You know what I'm saying? Like It's about a balance. Like, and I go back to it being a balance because that's what a relationship is. Like if you go in there like, oh, I'm this, that, and the third, well, you're going to be alone like this, that, and the third. Like, I mean, so yeah, I mean, finance is always going to be a tough subject to discuss because people aren't comfortable with discussing their own personal finances. And I think that's because people are naive about their finances and they don't want to believe the ugly truth about things. And so that's always going to be a tough topic.
Very much so. I mean, how can I put it? Because I fall in the category as T-Mac said. My old lady make more than I do, and I lose no sleep about it. I enjoy what I do. She understands what I do, but at the same time, I don't allow that. Well, we don't allow it to get into the drama of our relationship. It just is what it is. But like you say, being able to hold those conversations about what is going on, what that looks like, is very crucial. Because if not, it can cause a lot of conflict. If insecurity is in play with finances, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, insecurity in anything. Like, it's going to come up. You can't hide insecurity. It's not like a wife beater. You can just put something over it. It's going to come up. Yeah. And
Lord have mercy. She not letting his wife beater. We really got her blood boiling over here.
Yeah.
She is not going to let it go. Oh,
It is written all over
I
your
hope
face too.
every time you guys try to put a wife beater on, you remember this conversation.
It's like, let me
You're
put
like,
a shirt
"Great,
on
it's
over
not a
this.
shirt."
Let
Yeah,
me put a shirt on.
let me come correct for the energy I want to receive.
oh my goodness.
Oh goodness, that is funny. You
Oh,
look like you ready to
this
just have
is
a come to
funny.
Jesus meeting, like a woosah moment.
Yes, she is not trying to hear it. The wife beater, done deal. It's dead and gone. Okay, what about pets? Because people are attached to pets. How do you feel about pets?
I feel fine. I
Do
mean,
you feel your dog or a cat person? I know it sounds random, but I'm going somewhere with this.
yeah. I don't think I've ever dated someone with a cat or a dog. I think the people that I've dated have just as busy as a schedule as I do, so don't tend to have pets because they're always on the go. Um, but yeah, I mean, I prefer dogs over cats, but I'm not, I mean, again, this goes back to your upbringing. So were you brought up in a house that had a lot of pets? Like, is this your childhood cat or dog? Like, who am I to say, yeah, you got to get rid of your dog that you've had for 15 years? Like, you sound crazy, regardless of what animal it is. Like, it's a bond, that's a relationship. So,
What about you? Have you thought about owning cats or dogs? Well, dog, I should say.
yeah, I want a teacup Yorkie. I feel like I sound so bougie right now, but I've owned dogs in the past. I've had two Shih Tzus, and then it was just like apartment life wasn't for them. But the teacup Yorkie, if you guys aren't familiar, it's like you can literally fit it in your hand. It's so small and cute. Also so expensive, but I'm probably gonna get one before the end of 2020, so I'll keep you guys posted. But yeah, I mean, I think dogs are cute and fun, and like, I don't know.
You gonna make a little IG page for that dog too?
No, it's just gonna live with me and my
People kill me.
personality and saga. Yeah.
People kill me. They got a whole Instagram page for their pet. That kills
But
me.
some pets like make money off of being like their owners make money off their pets, which is even more insane. Like unreal.
So what you gonna name it? I know you got. If you look into the dog,
I
I'm
can't
pretty
tell
sure
you my name. Like, don't
What?
everybody
You can't-
steal my
what?
dog's name. No, absolutely
Are
not.
you serious right
You want to
now?
know what my children's names are going to be too?
Sure,
No,
why not?
not
Oh,
today.
so,
Do you know what your kids' names are gonna be,
Yeah.
or what you want to name them? I should say.
Yeah, I'm having 5 kids. I'm
God damn
starting
it.
when I'm 30 years old. Starting 5, we're gonna be in the car. Listen, you need to run this play.
She said 5. Oh, so you trying to build a basketball team for real, for real?
Yeah, no games over
Yeah.
here.
I see.
Well, in all fairness, like my thing is that so many people have kids that can't financially support kids, and mentally the growth that I want to build for myself and the legacy, like I find myself or I envision myself being able to afford as many children as I want. And I know a lot of people pray for like healthy kids, like kids with no disabilities, and honestly, like I'm just grateful for whatever God gives me, and I think that's because of the heart and the patience that I have. And so I'd rather God give me what somebody else might seem to define as a burden of a child, because I know I'll be able to give it the attention and the needs that it deserves, or like just like, yeah, that it deserves. And so, yeah, I mean, hopefully 5, 3 would be great. We'll see.
Have you ever dated a guy that you felt might try to trap you if this gets serious?
I don't. Does the guy feel like that's the woman? Like,
That's yeah.
like, I don't like. I've definitely had people in relationships say like, "Oh, I know you're gonna be more successful than me," or like, "I know one day I'm gonna work for you," and I'm just like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean?
'Cause
Like,
I only bring this up because a friend of mine posted on Facebook, I think either this week or maybe last week. She is married with kids, and she posted men trap women too. And my wheels started spinning because obviously she's married. I don't know if this is maybe something she's going through or somebody close to her is going through it, or if she just randomly posted it. I don't know. That's all the information I have. But it just got me thinking about that those guys that do try to trap women as well. And typically in those situations, it mostly has to do with because they didn't put that thing on them and they don't want her to give it to anybody else. typically is how, because with women it's more financial. I think when they try to trap a man. Not saying that men won't do it because of a woman's financial security, but I think it's more so they get that mushu and they don't want her giving it to nobody else. So that's my question to you. Have you ever dated a guy that you thought he might try to trap me?
I don't know. I think it's like dating someone you probably can't trust, and I would never like do that or go to that level of intimacy with someone. Again, like I'm really clear on my communication and what I give and what I believe I deserve. So I don't think I've ever had that situation occur. But I can definitely see how women get trapped too. I mean, there's some great women out there that men just don't want anyone else to be with. So I get it. Like,
Well, because believe it or not, like it is a huge thing. Like, do you remember back in the day? Well, you're young. Never mind. But I joke. The whole thing about I'm just being honest. But
now that look she made, that shit is dangerous. I can tell.
You know the whole poking holes in condoms. Okay, that was supposed to be a woman's thing. Yeah, women did. No, I'm just breaking it down because when it comes down to trap, it's this thing that nowadays men do called stealthing. To where when they're intimate with a woman, they start out with protection, and then during the course of it, they will remove the protection in the process in order to, as P-Max said, trap a woman. This is real. I don't make the news. I just present it.
deliver it? Okay.
Yes, that's all I do.
We get killed so many times for the similar shit that we say on here, and we just report it. We don't make this stuff up.
Look, I'm the Black Bob Ross. I'm just trying to paint you a picture. That is all I'm trying to do. If it doesn't work out, you can just make many of trees. You can just make little pretty trees, and it'll be okay. But that is one of the ways that a lot of men feel like that they can trap a woman with a baby. They may not feel like that they can trap them with finances, emotionally, but they feel like if I can impregnate her, I can make her mine. At least I will always be in her life. That is one of the biggest ways nowadays that men will go about trapping a woman.
See, like, two things here. I think this is why faith plays such an important aspect, or should play an important aspect in people's lives. Like, granted, I didn't stay a virgin until I was married. Like, I'm not married yet. I'm not a virgin, but I mean, this is exactly why, right? Like, why get into bed with somebody? Why lay your head next to somebody that you don't know what their intentions are, one. And then two, it goes back to protecting yourself. Like, I feel as if so many people are dependent on others protecting them or providing them that they don't do it for themselves. As Paul said, that list of who do you care for? You have to care for yourself. So if it's women getting on a pill or taking a shot, if it's men having extra protection or understanding where the woman is at in regards to her fertility, it all comes down to that. Why depend on someone else to protect you and what happens next in your life when you can do it for yourself?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
100% savvy. That was pretty much all I had in my notes. You got anything on your end, He-Man?
Oh yes, because I'm gonna go back to the pets. Say for instance, you got your yes, I am. This is some shit that I'm sorry. That is some things that I read today. All right, so I'm gonna break it up. Forgive me, not really, but I'm gonna break it up anyway.
Get your shit off.
I'm ready.
So you talked about your little Yorkie who shall not be named. Who she does not want. I say, bring it up, your little teacup Yorkie who shall not be named. So I read something today. Say, for instance, you got your little pretty Yorkie, right? Your little baby in your purse. All of a sudden, you become sick. You go to the hospital, right? You've been having this Yorkie for, 5-10 years. It's been with you, it helps you go through it. You get sick, and you have a significant other. All right? You still with me? While you're sick, you are asking about your Yorkie. Oh, your Yorkie's fine. A little sick. He's like, okay, will you take it to the vet? He's like, yeah, I'll take it to the vet. Take it to the vet. Vet is like, it's going to need a procedure. Take it, get a second opinion. They say put your Yorkie down. What would you do if your significant other put your Yorkie down while you was in a hospital and you got out and was like, "Where's my dog?"
That's a hell of a scenario.
Yeah, that's it really. How long did it take you to paint that?
Look, I'll tell you what happened. This was just.
Yeah.
This is real. Look, I follow this thing and it's called "Am I an Asshole?" This is a real thing. And this is what happened. A guy got struck with COVID. He loved his dog. He was suicidal in high school, but he loved his dog. All the way through, his dog helped him get through it, all the way up until he got married. He got married. He got struck with COVID. He was in the hospital. His wife went and got the dog a first and a second opinion. He had money put up to save his dog. Well, his wife chose to put the dog down and put the money towards a new car. The down payment to a new car. So I'm just asking, what would you feel like if if your significant other was like, you know what, I know how much you love your dog, but it was in pain or whatever, and I just decided to put it down there. Here go this new car. I'm going to drive you from the hospital. And how would you feel about that?
I mean, I think anybody would feel here when you're dealing with an illness, and then two, you're dealing with like an emotional illness. Like that was something that was a part of you. But again, like I would hope my partner has good communication and can communicate in the hospital. Like, it's one or the other right now. What are we doing? I'll be like, well, they're about to pull the plug on me. So I guess if you pull the plug on the dog, I'll see it up there. And like, you know, no, I think that's foul. Like, I don't know. Like that's something that worries me, honestly, about health. Like the fact that like, God forbid someone I love is in a situation where it's like, pull the plug or not. The fact that somebody else might make that decision instead of me, who has the right to make that decision, like, that comes up in health all the time. Like, look how many cases of COVID where like they're taking them off life support, and it's like, that's not what I had wanted. But it's like, I don't know. I guess it depends, but it would hurt, obviously. Like, you obtain an emotional attachment to things, like you naturally do. Like, so, yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Right on. I just work here.
There you go.
So, fellas, don't kill her Yorkie. That's what I got from that. Just consult her first.
Maybe I'll bring it to the next episode if it's like months later. I'll make a special appearance.
Do it. Yeah.
Would you share the name then, or would you just be like, "Hey, this is my little"?
No, I would share the name. Yeah, I'd share the name. So my friends and I. So speaking about pets, I have two friends out here. One that moved here from New York, another one that's an LA native, and we might co-parent a dog, just because we all have crazy schedules and we all want a dog. But they don't want the same dog that I want, so I might just co-parent that one, but also get my own. I don't know. But I'm like, I've never heard of someone doing that. Like a group of friends, like, let's just share a dog. Like, what? So I'll let you guys know how that goes. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got to know.
Yes, we have to know. We have to know. Is there going to be jealousy? You're keeping him or her for too long? I want to see my baby. Are y'all going to fight? I mean, because
no, I definitely.
Serious.
Yeah, co-parenting is serious, but I definitely think there would be like a scheduled, structured approach to this. I'm very like holistic thinker. Like, so there are 52 weeks in a year. Here's how we're going to divide it. But no, I also think like it depends on your work schedule. So like the three of us all work within sports, so traveling frequently, having to go, and it's kind of like a way to protect the dog. So when that happens, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to have a pet. It's like helping you train for a kid, I guess. So yeah.
That's very, very true.
So we get killed quite a bit on this podcast by people that say we never give women a fair shake. This is a real thing. We have invited plenty of women to come on this podcast to air their grievances. They never accept it. So is there anything you would like to ask us? We've asked you a whole bunch of questions. Is there anything you'd like to ask us in regards to anything?
I don't really think I have any questions, but I think it's because I have such an open dialogue with my guy friends or peers where it's like I kind of already know, and not to like categorize the male component or like males as a whole, but I think like I have those conversations all the time. So like the women that are telling you this, I would suggest that they speak to their male friends more about the uncomfortable topics because like you said, like I just work here, I'm just delivering the news, like you guys shouldn't be bashed for saying certain things that are common misconceptions or common stigmas. So but I also grew up playing a man's sport, unfortunately. Like basketball is not looked at as a woman's sport, sadly enough. And so, I mean, there's nothing I've ever had on my chest that I wouldn't get off on someone just because of the gender that they are.
So, with that being said, what is it like being in that role of being that female best friend or good friend? Have you ever encountered, which I'm hypothetically stating, to where one of your male friends, girlfriends felt insecure? Why are you hanging out with Lexington? Why are y'all kicking it? Why are y'all cool? What are you talking about our business with her for? Things of that nature.
Oh, like a female dating a male?
What,
Oh, that's
like,
my friend? Oh, all the time.
no,
Like,
no, no.
I have, no?
No, like your guy friend, his girlfriend is insecure about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've lost job opportunities because of that. Till this day, there are still,
What?
yeah. Just because, like, again, like, I'm a Latin woman working in sports around males all the time. And regardless of how it looks, of me giving an athlete a t shirt for them to throw into the crowd, or me having an athlete sign a contract, or me shaking an athlete's hand, or an actor, or whatever the case may be, their hand to put them on the Jumbotron, like, people just, they see you and they automatically think what they think of you in regards to like, oh, she's so beautiful, or that body of hers, whatever the case may be, and they ultimately go to like 1,000. So
Mm-hmm.
I've had athletes that wouldn't hire my company just because their girlfriend or wife is uncomfortable with me running production. And what I do is I completely understand, and I offer the girlfriend or the spouse an opportunity to work with me on the project. But a lot of the times insecurity comes into play, and they feel like their education isn't adequate enough because they're not running it from top to bottom, so they don't want any part. So what am
If
I to do?
if
Like,
they feel that way, then they need to check they dude. That's
they
how
need
I
to check
feel about it.
themselves. They need to check themselves. Like, you know what you're getting into dating somebody that's in the spotlight. And if you don't, you're very naive, and you need to have that conversation with yourself and your partner. But those situations that leave the household and affect people's business, I think are just a bit much. Like, who am I? Like, I'm literally trying to host an event. Like, you're coming to the event with your man. Like, I don't get what the discrepancy is here. But okay, cool, thanks. Appreciate you helping me lose a check, but it's all right. I got it. God's got me, whatever. Like, damn.
I can see how that could be frustrating. Understanding, you get it, you move on, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that has to be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, and I think it's just sadly it's happened so many times now that I'm just like, got it. I see what we're on.
Mm.
Time to move on to the next one. And it's like, honestly, it's about rumors too. Like, trust me, athletes will spread rumors because you don't give them what they want, or because like you're not what they think you should be. And I've had that too. I've had organizations fire me because they thought they heard something or I did something, and I have evidence and proof. But what am I going to do? Sue the organization? Like, I don't want to go through all that. And I think it's terrible. And I think honestly, that's why so many women turn down positions in sports, because of the stigma. It's always the athlete's right, never the worker's right, because the worker's always considered the help, right? So like,
That's trash. That is absolute. There's no way around it because, like they say, if a person can't control you, they're trying to control the narrative about you. So with that comes negative consequences to the person that possibly is not even involved. And again, that's not fair. That's not right.
you nailed it. Absolutely. Like, yeah, you can't let that stuff like get to you anymore. I don't know. And the thing is like when you have a good heart and soul, like, you have to let that bounce off you. Like, I've let it bounce off me and like people approach me like, oh, what happened, or da da da, and I'm just like, you know who I am. Like, I can't fix that situation. Like, that's not my business. Like, it is what it is, you know. I'm just gonna continue in my path, in my lane. And like, granted, like, usually the wife will come and apologize, or the client, the athlete will say, you know, I'm so sorry on the behalf of, and I'm like, no, I get it. Like, this is something that's out of my control and something you should probably handle if you feel that it's something you want to handle. But yeah, I mean, it's not my place. It's just tragic because, like, look how many males work within the WNBA. And there's never any accusations held against them, or any like, oh, the ball boy tried to, you know what I'm saying? But for women in male sports, it's always that. It is always that. So
it seems very tiring. Gets old or whatnot. When you just want to try and do your best shit, you want to just live your life and do what needs to be done and go on about your day.
absolutely, yeah.
Yep. Who you got in the playoffs?
Portland.
Okay.
I don't know. I really want Portland. I want Houston in there. The East, would love to see Boston, I guess. Or the Nets. I don't really know. The thing is, I don't have a team. Like, I love players. I love their dynamic. I love how a player contributes to the team, you know? Like, everyone's like, oh, so what's your starting five on this? I'm like, I don't have one. Like, that's just not, like, yeah. So I'm a players fan rather than a team fan.
Are you the same way with the WNBA?
Yeah, players all day. Like, I like the dynamic of the team more in the WNBA, but I'm favoring a player rather than favoring a team. Unless, of course, I work for a team where then I have a bias, as we all do. But besides that, yeah.
Did you have a Knicks bias when you worked with?
Yeah.
Tragic.
Go New York, go New York. Go.
Everything about the Knicks is just tragic. People was ready to start crying yesterday that they only got the 8th pick in that
draft. So I don't get fined, but it's all right.
What about football? Do you have? Oh, you probably don't be messing with football. Or do you?
I was working for the Jets, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm here so I don't get fined. Part 2.
You was about to get him going. Just so you know. He was about to lose it.
Trash.
Baseball. I worked for the Mets. Here to not get fined. Part 3.
Savvy. Yeah, that's about all I got here, man. You got anything else?
No, she has been absolutely. She passed the pre-phase. You know what I'm saying? We can have a little softballs. Yes. Yeah. Next time it's gonna be a little bit rough.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because you bodied. Do you have a podcast? Because you're really good at this. Because you kind of bodied this.
So I'm coming out with a podcast around entrepreneurship. A little teaser. Haven't even told anyone about it, but I'm figuring out where I should debut it. If it's going to be on OnlyFans or part of my YouTube page, but. Yeah, like I said, I welcome the hard conversations. If you don't have the hard conversations now, chances are when they do come up, you're going to be stuck, and you don't want that. So there's nothing wrong with talking things out. So I really appreciate you guys having me on here and seeing this continue to grow. Can't believe it's episode 50 in 2 years. 50. Clearly, I need to get my YouTube going because I'm on 7 and it's been like 8 months. So I need to continue to revamp that. But yeah, this was great. So really appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you taking time out. Whenever things get back going and you do actually come to Texas, we would love to have you on live because that's when it's really gonna get good. I'm just letting you know that now. I feel like we kind of took it a little bit easy on you, but we'll get there. Baby
steps.
I'm here for it.
Got to. All right, but yeah, that was episode 50. Let me hear one more applause for our special guest, the beautiful Miss Lexi. We will see everybody again next week. As always, this is your boy, the bad guy P-Mac.
It's your boy, the Walking Holiday He-Man. And
ooh, Lord.
And
oh, am I supposed to
that
say
was your cue. We letting you go.
Clearly, I'm not ready to have a podcast yet, but yeah.
I love it. Oh Lord, and she still didn't. Our beautiful guest, Miss Lexi. We appreciate you having you on. I'm gonna let this Pop Smoke ride out on the way out, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.
Look, have mercy on me.